Oh man, I just farted a little bit.
De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarí.
What do you mean we don't have a permit to like go into Cuba? You think what?
I told you, we didn't get permission to go in, Carlos.
So what are we gonna do?
Carlos is my personal anthropologist.
What the fuck is he talking about, you stupid Greek person?
So we're literally just sneaking in.
Okay, I'm open to that. I guess that from an anthropological point of view, getting arrested in Cuba will be quite an experience, but fuck you, Phil. I don't want to get arrested today.
We gotta do this documentary somehow, man. We have to do it somehow.
I always imagine myself like rotting in a Cuban jail, so let's go for it.
Carlos can be a little condescending at times.
What are you afraid of? You literally survived your whole life with the cartel. You can survive 7 days with freaking communism.
Dude, at least the cartel is fucking democratic, you know? Like they hold elections by killing people. What the fuck is he thinking? Like, we're going to fucking shoot in Cuba and he doesn't have a permit.
Carlos is such a snowflake.
Bitch.
I can do this without Carlos, for sure. If he doesn't want to go to Cuba, let him go. Actually, don't let him go. I paid him. I already paid him, so that's a bad idea.
I'm not scared. I just hate working with incompetent people.
Who are our first interviewees for today, Carlos?
We don't have any.
The fuck you mean we don't have any?
Apparently, he's starting to become a PhD. Okay, Carlos.
Sorry, man. I told you. I'm getting my contacts in Havana, but not here.
Do we have anybody in Miami?
Yep. I went through 12 years of school just to be his personal anthropologist. Oh, he couldn't make it. Conflicting schedules.
Oh, shit. All right, I guess we're just gonna have to rely on Rafaela tomorrow. All right, fucking shit. All right, let's go walk around.
What the fuck, Carlos? What the fuck, man?
He never fucking plans anything at all. Yeah, those are some of the most famous Cubans.
Oh, there's Benny Moore. There's your dude, Carlos.
It kind of switched over to Latin America, towards there. Like this is just for Cubans. And then if you notice, those are some of the most famous Latin American artists.
Dang, you know a lot about your Cuban musicians, Carlos.
Because he knows everything, apparently.
You know what would be funny? Like if we just kept walking, like thinking that they're following us, but they actually got robbed a few blocks away. So now they're not behind us anymore.
What a dick.
So why do you think a bunch of people from Cuban descent, right? Cuban exiles,
Yeah.
populated so close to Cuba in Miami?
Okay, that's a good question. Because originally, Little Havana used to be mostly a Jewish, I will say, a neighborhood. Like back in the 30s. But as soon as the Cuban Revolution happened and Castro rose to power, I guess it's just circumstantial. They just decided to settle here because it was easy. And that's pretty much it, as far as I know.
Carlos acts like he knows everything from school. He fucking just Googles it. That's it.
Do you think there's still a hatred against the current Cuban society from the people who live in Little Havana?
I wouldn't say that there's a hatred towards society itself. There is a hate towards the regime. Now the funny thing is that I know that I'm speaking like in general terms, but if you were to ask people who live here, it's very likely that we're going to hear bad things about the actual regime, which makes sense because they fled the country, or their parents fled the country with them as kids. But when we are in Cuba, you're going to notice how everybody's so like the way they talk about the regime is so different. They praise it, and I don't know if that's because if it's because they actually believe in the regime, or if they're just fucking fearful that if they say something else, they're gonna get either imprisoned, tortured, or fucking killed. I don't know. I could have been his personal anthropologist just by reading Wikipedia.
Of what economic status were the people who left Cuba? Was it like the wealthy?
Working class. The thing is that supposedly Cuban society doesn't have like different classes. That's the whole point of a socialist system. It's just the working class, and everybody's on equal terms. Everybody gets paid the same amount. Wages are really low because the state is supposed to provide you with your house. You're supposed to have health care. You're supposed to have a job guaranteed by the government. But I guess it's human nature. Corruption always happens.
I just wanted 30 seconds of Cuban history, not 20 fucking minutes, Carlos.
I don't speak stupid, Phil.
Alright.
There you go. Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah,
And now I think if we get the plaques over there.
Jacob is my cameraman, and he is amazing.
That's some fine camera work, Jacob.
Thank you.
It's very, very, very fine.
Gotta get those flags.
Yeah. I just admire the way that you take that shot.
Thank
I
you.
really do.
He's so fucking weird.
You could say I have a man crush on him.
I don't know why I do jobs with him.
He's a beautiful man. He's an absolutely beautiful man.
He's so weird.
This is important. I'll give you $100 if you can catch a chicken.
Huh.
I'm serious.
Why would I do that?
For
Don't you know
$100?
how territorial they are? They will fucking pluck my eye out. I don't know how to fucking catch a chicken, Phil.
Fine. I'll catch the fucking chicken myself.
Make America great again by getting rid of people like Phil.
Basically, Cuba was a Spanish colony, right?
Yes.
Which means they were Catholic.
Yes.
Like a large percentage, almost all the population was Catholic.
It comes with the culture.
Right, exactly. So then how do you switch from a Catholic-based, like how do you switch from a Catholic-based country to an atheist country?
With the power of guns.
No, I know, but it's like you can't.
You can't.
Like how do you change? You can't change that.
You can't, and as you can see, even, I mean, we're in Miami, but when we get to Cuba, you'll see that even with the Cuban Revolution and even under a communist regime, they weren't able to take away the religion. So what happens is that even though Cuba used to be it's no longer an atheist country.
But it still is considered by the
It's
state.
considered because it's communist.
Okay, wait. So when did they establish that? 1959, when the regime took over?
Yeah.
They just established that it was an atheist, secular country. But why?
Because according to Marxism, which is the backbone of any communist or socialist state, one of the backbones, religion is the. I'm pretty sure you've heard the phrase that religion is the opium of the masses. So, according to Marxist theory, religion just kind of numbs down the people, so that they can be easily manipulated and oppressed by the capitalistic pigs and shit. I know my fucking human history. How else will I impress girls at the parties? Just kidding, it doesn't work. One of the first goals of any communist country, anywhere in the world, is to get rid of religion in order to enlighten people.
He just fucking uses Google. I could do the same shit too.
Katie!
Katie is Jacob's girlfriend, and she's on the trip because I'm just an amazing employer.
Katie! Oh my gosh, hurry up, Katie.
She's also subbing in for my other cameraman, Will, who's not here right now because he's at his niece's birthday party.
It was a free trip for Katie and I to go to Cuba. What else can I say?
I like Katie better than Will, honestly. I do. She needs some basic adjustments with her shots, but they're good. They're good. She's manageable. Will, on the other hand, is just a giant snowflake.
Shit, he's such a fucking dick.
Will is the king of all snowflakes.
Oh my god, what the fuck, Phil?
The man gets scared so easily. We call them snowflaki in Greek.
All right, quickly, like very, very quickly. How did they gain independence from the Spanish?
Oh man, that was...
Wait. 1898, right? Cuba gains independence.
Yes, that's right.
So 1898, Cuba gains independence from Spain.
Almost 100 years after the other colonies.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did they gain independence?
Well, they just started to fight over what would happen with slavery. And they weren't going to become independent, but towards the end of the 19th century, there was a reform in the Constitution, and it kind of changed how the slave owners will, like the kind of privilege that they would have in regards to holding slaves. So some of them revolted against the other slave owners, so it was kind of an internal fight. And when they were like fighting each other, the actual rebels were like, okay, this is the moment, let's fuck them up. And that's what happened.
They gained independence. They were taken over by the communist regime. The U.S. puts an embargo on Cuba. All right, we understand everything. You don't have to go in depth for 10 fucking minutes, okay, Carlos? You don't.
The anti-Castro sentiment that I guess prevails in Little Havana, you can see it here.
So, I mean, the people here actually do have, I mean, it's clear cut. They don't like,
Yeah, I mean,
they don't like the Castro regime, the communist regime at all.
yeah, and the thing is that many of the people who actually fled here in the past, I bet you that they have relatives that are in prisons in Cuba, so. I know my Latino culture, bitch.
Do we really even know where Carlos is from? I haven't seen a birth certificate.
He is fucking Mexican, Phil.
Yes.
Tinderellas.
You have to check on the Tinderellas. Yeah.
That's a new word for me.
No, you have to. I'm expanding your vocabulary, Carlos.
Yeah, nice.
Listen, when you go, you have to. I mean, you just have to see the prospects that are there.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Tinder is an amazing resource to use.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know.
We'll go to a Wi-Fi hotspot in Cuba, and we'll just hop on real fast, swipe right 100 times, and then we'll get matched.
Phil made me open up my Tinder account just to check the Tinderellas in town. Man, he has some weird tastes in women. Kinda makes you wanna cause an accident, huh? No?
Carlos. almost took that girl out right there. You see that?
What?
I almost took her out by accident.
Yeah. What?
I almost took that girl out by accident.
Oh, I thought you were checking your ass.
You thought I was what?
I just wanted some fucking ice cream. That's it.
A wonderful life. Hell yeah, burn in hell, you little cunt.
I swear he's gonna start a fucking revolution when we go to Cuba.
If something happens in Cuba, we're just gonna leave him.
If anything happens in Cuba, I'm with Carlos. He knows Spanish.
Every man for himself.
Why is Domino's associated with Cubans?
Because of gambling and alcohol. You know how, like, just remember how you were in Tijuana, and Tijuana is also famous because of gambling and drinking and shit. And it has to do with prohibition in the United States. So like in the 20s, 30s, people on the West Coast just went down the border, south of the border to Tijuana, and people on the East Coast will just go to fucking Cuba to gamble and drink and shit.
But why Domino's though? Like, what's the association?
Well, it's just, honestly, I don't know that one, but I guess it's easy to produce and shit, but we'll look into it.
Yeah, you'll look into it, because that's what I'm paying you for.
Oh, shut up, you little fuck.
So if you are actually here to
Look, so this place, it's only for members. You have to be a club member.
Oh.
So this park should only be used by its members. Other people can be arrested for trespassing. Tourists are welcome. What does he think walking into a members only area? Dude, chill.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know we couldn't play dominoes in a public freaking park.
You uncultured bitch.
My Greek culture allows me to connect with other cultures. It's just a natural gift.
I asked him about Johnny and he doesn't know who he is. Like, is he even Greek?
Who the fuck is Johnny? What is he saying? Yanni? It's Yanni, Carlos, not fucking Johnny.
I'm so serious. She's legit my celebrity crush.
Why did she?
Because she's beautiful, man.
How is beauty something that makes you legit?
What?
Yeah, how is beauty something that makes you be legit?
Carlos. Have you heard her voice? You haven't heard her
No.
voice, obviously.
But that should tell you something. I mean, if I haven't heard of her, it means that she's just not good enough.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, it offended me that he didn't know who Camila Cabello was.
Camila Cabello, who the fuck is that?
She's top three Latin musicians of all time, hands down. Have you heard her voice?
Phil's favorite song is Despacito because he doesn't know shit about music.
Literally, have you heard her voice?
Did she invent the cure for cancer?
Man, she's absolutely gorgeous. It's ridiculous.
All right, Airbnb is ready in 30 minutes. Everybody back to the U-Haul truck.
I got a U-Haul van because it was the cheapest thing to rent, honestly.
Because you're in the back.
What about Jacob?
He's gonna get in later.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
like, okay.
I threw Jacob and Carlos in the back.
He said we were gonna go get a rental car when we got off the plane. I didn't know I was gonna have to sit in the back of a fucking U-Haul.
He told me to get into the back of the U-Haul truck. He said that he will be gentle. He wasn't.
Oh man, I can parallel park my ass off. It's ridiculous.
What the fuck is wrong with his driving skills?
My driving is pristine.
Phil, I know I'm Mexican. I know I look Mexican, but that doesn't give you the right to put me in the back of a U-Haul truck with this fucking weather.
It was hot as shit in the back of that U-Haul van.
It got pretty hot back there, I'm not gonna lie. I paid them in advance though, so, I mean, it's their job.
Fuck you, bitch.
Who's ready to go out? We have a limited time in Miami, so we have to make use of every single minute. It's 6 p.m. right now, and it's time to go out.
I've been up for 48 hours. I just want to die.
It's time.
Wait, is Little Havana safe to walk through?
Shit, I don't know, man. You didn't pay me to do research on fucking Little Havana.
Fuck, Carlos.
may be wondering why I'm not wearing a shirt. It's because I spilled wine all over it. Carlos told me about this fucking drink where you mix Coke and wine together. So I got the drink. I got the wine, I got the Coke, and I was gonna mix them all together, but the place that we're staying at doesn't have a freaking wine bottle opener, so I had to use a knife.
I should have told him not to use a fucking butter knife to open the wine bottle, but I just grabbed the camera because I wanted to see what would happen.
And I didn't realize that if you push the cork all the way down the bottle, the wine sprays everywhere. So I got wine all over my fucking shirt.
Don't you love karma?
My Greek philosophy shirt.
Take that, bitch. I hope you enjoy your wine.